I don't believe that we are alone in the universe. However, I think that a lot of the videos that are online are very questionable. But the reality of spirits living amongst us is a reality that I think that a lot of humans aren't aware of. Now, a lot of people like to capitalize on ufology and ghost hunting, but that doesn't mean that just because there's some counterfeits and some fake channelers and things of that nature, it doesn't then mean that the spirit world isn't real. So I'm going to tell you why this story has my attention and why I'm going to share with you this video footage. I'll read from you what is posted on Coast to Coast AM, but the story comes to us from Oregon City, which is just outside of Portland, Oregon, and actually a little closer to Aurora, Oregon, where I actually grew up in the country south of Portland by 25 miles. Oregon City is absolutely a haunted town, just like Portland. So I'm already a little bit aware that it has an old history, and I'm not surprised to see information come out in the article. We'll also show you the video of what they believe to be a spirit that was left behind from the past, a pharmacist. And what we see in the video is a moving of the tip jar. Here's the interesting detail, and then I'll start reading from the article. Where did the video come from? Was it someone's cell phone camera? Was it their own private security system? This is a medical marijuana dispensary, so those are state cameras. Okay, the state of Oregon would have to be involved basically in the hoax. We're talking about cameras that are always running. Over a period of time, you'll see it in a minute, a tip jar moved across the counter. Even more interesting, and I just mentioned this, not too long ago, that I think some movies have plots in them, things that are built into fiction that I think have potentially a little bit of truth, where the people that made that movie, for example, Ghost, we'll go ahead and take a look at that now, because I do think that it is a very interesting example. So Patrick Swayze, the late Patrick Swayze, he seeks out this particular individual because he is seeking to be given knowledge as to how to move things with his mind.
What are you doing?
Giving this just a little bit of narration using, of course, a copyrighted clip. So it's about applying focus, and he teaches Patrick Swayze how to modify reality with his mind.
And then let it explode like a reactor.
Okay, so now going to the clip. We're also going to bring you some additional information that you weren't expecting to get, but you'll get it anyways. Workers at a marijuana dispensary in Oregon suspect that they may be sharing their space with the spirit after security cameras captured some eerie activity at the pot shop. The weirdness reportedly first began this summer when 50 Trees employee Andy Gomez noticed that a tip jar seemingly slid across a perfectly flat counter on its own while he was budtending a few feet away. As it happened, he recalled, "I kind of felt like someone was standing next to me." Another piece of security footage shows objects in a pin holder being rattled by an unseen force. Lest one suspect that the incidents captured on video are simply shenanigans on the part of the pot shop in order to generate some publicity around Halloween. That seems fairly unlikely, as the general manager of the site says that since they are a cannabis shop, such trickery with security footage would actually be against the law. Those are state certified videos. In the early 1900s, this old building, which houses the dispensary, serves as a pharmacy. As such, she mused that, "I feel like it's the pharmacist because he likes to, quote, organize things." And this is interesting. Now, I worked briefly during some really hard times on YouTube at a fast food place here in town, and this is rural Colorado, and it was believed that there was a ghost, a kitchen ghost or spirit that was in the kitchen that I was doing the fry cook work in, Cisco, burgers and fries. Next. But the kitchen manager said that a knife flew off. He was actually only working there a few months, heard about the ghost. It flew off the shelf and really freaked him out, and found itself on the floor. And I've seen things like that, and in some areas it's more common. I've literally been in areas like Dallas, Texas, and Portland, Oregon, and I've been around more of that paranormal energy in some of these areas. I think old buildings is a connection, but an increase in solar activity is another. Before I show you that, because some ghost hunters have already posted on the internet, they see a connection with increased geomagnetic storms and what they're seeing in their ghost hunting adventures. And there's a number of ghost hunting groups. It'd be interesting for me to visit one in Denver. Let me know if someone is watching up there that is affiliated with a group. I wonder if Denver, Colorado experiences the same phenomena, but I would say more so West Coast cities or certain other areas, certain areas also in the Midwest. Let's go ahead and take a look at this video from KGW News. And so you can take a look at the videos. Again, understand these videos came from the state of Oregon. It's illegal to tamper with those videos. So there would have to be some sort of obvious plot of them attempting to do the trick anyways around the videos. And so surely someone would be seeing some sort of wire or something like that. Like, that's just common sense, because we normally don't have a situation where it can be verified that the cameras haven't been tampered with, like this situation.
Over the top of old buildings.
As for the video from in downtown Oregon City, there are spirits afoot. At least that's the theory behind paranormal activity witnessed at 50 Trees, a cannabis dispensary.
What's gonna happen next?
Behold, if you dare, this surveillance video from August. Watch the glass tip jar on the counter. Slowly, it starts to move. That's Andy Gomez next to it.
As it was happening, I kind of felt like somebody was standing next to me, or like somebody was like right here.
Suddenly, the jar falls
It's
off
just so
the
scary.
Yes.
Okay, that just happened.
Then Andy remembered the surveillance
And then, like,
cameras.
we saw the jar do its thing.
Not long after that, this happened. Watch the pen cup. It's completely still and no one's around when suddenly the pens begin to move. And if you think the video's been doctored, as a cannabis shop, that would be against the law.
And those are state-certified videos.
GM Samantha Davidson says at the turn of the century, this building space was used as a pharmacy.
I feel like it's the pharmacist because he likes to organize things. I'll leave it to the ghost hunters.
Oregon City is a very haunted place.
Rocky Smith owns Haunted Oregon City. The paranormal investigator and historian gives ghost tours and has heard many tales of mysterious happenings here.
The activity that happens in a lot of these haunted places in downtown is because of that rebuilding over the top of old buildings.
As for the video from the cannabis shop,
It's very hard to explain that. And so it leaves you with this question, what is it that we're talking about? What is it that's causing this?
perhaps they'll never know.
I just hope that that pharmacist is happy that we're here.
Back live in Oregon City, 50 Trees has actually had a full-on ghost hunting outfit out to run a full spectrum analysis of the building. Their findings included several variances in temperature, which they found to be suspect. What do you guys think?
Guys, the video, come on.
I don't know.
You can't deny that video.
Yeah.
Maybe the ghost just wants to roll up a big fatty and, get his night going. I don't know.
Is that on?
So that is an interesting story. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a little bit to this. Yeah, Oregon City is very haunted, and I've grown up throughout my whole life being sensitive to energy, and I'm kind of repelled by that region. I think that, and I'm just summarizing this, I've gone off in other videos. There is like a seedy, even sexual nature, a dark sexual vibe to just like normal dating relationships. Now, I'm not saying that it's not here, although there certainly isn't like an abundance of certain things here that there are there. including certain types of bookstores. So I remember being sensitive as a kid in Oregon City, and some of the people, and not just that place, but other rural Oregon towns, it's a lot of old energy. And it has a paranormal vibe. So part of me wanting to get out of Oregon was to get away from that thick paranormal vibe. Now, I just want to jump now to, again, mentioning the Shanghai tunnels. Further north from Oregon City, so that's about a 20-mile distance. In Portland, Oregon, the old days, men would end up shanghaied out to sea. I talked about they would be duped by bartenders, prostitutes, others, people that basically built the city, right? Instead of the original gang being the pimp gang, well, they were doing some pimping, but it was crimping, yo. Actual straight up abductions of men, including getting them to sign their name on a piece of paper. So it was considered legal to, the captains that were shanghaiing them out to sea, and some of these men died. And so there is a paranormal connection with a lot of the upset emotions in Portland. So there's a ghost there that's affecting, let's go back to the video without audio. Okay, I'm going to paint the picture in the mind's eye, break it down. It's nice they're joking. Hey, happy Halloween. But like that jar where that ghost, who in this case, I believe it's a friendly ghost that was a pharmacist that enjoys seeing the medicinal use of marijuana by today's humans. And probably impressed. So that's kind of like a positive situation. But when you have these bar realities where there's a lot of other negative emotions, I've always felt that the alcoholic spirits that have been left behind in Portland and other things, they could be feeding on the people that are drinking in those bars. So, you could be watching, for example, the Mike Blue Hair YouTube channel, and he'd be like, oh my God, what is going on with these crazy people acting like, apes and monkeys outside of these nightclubs? We're talking about all people, maybe on a random night, maybe with a certain level of increased solar activity, and all of a sudden these people are spilling out. And, you have the police putting a bag on a woman's head. She's spitting all over the place. I've highlighted these videos over the years. 2014, there was a rise in this. There's more solar activity, by the way, then. And I was making the connection. It's a combination of the haunting energy and the solar energy causing this upset unrest in the people that drink too many spirits. Because literally people can be animated by that, and they can be compelled to do certain things. And they include certain sexual situations, violent situations, or a sexual violation, or a big fight, or spending a lot of money because, they're high on those spirits. Going back and taking a look at the video, I'm going to hit play. Then we will look at a couple of blogs.
As it was happening, I kind of felt like somebody was standing next to me, or like somebody was like right here.
Suddenly, the jar falls off the level surface.
Okay, that just happened.
Then Andy remembered the surveillance camera.
We're going to watch this
the
first
jar.
clip again.
Do its thing.
Not long after that, this happened. Watch the pen cup. It's completely still and no one's around when suddenly the pens begin to move. And if you think the video's been doctored, as a cannabis shop, that would be against the law.
And those are state-certified videos.
GM Samantha Davidson says at the turn of the century...
This would probably be a good time to tell you a little story, though, if you're into story time. I was somewhere, it was a cabin rental. It was a really nice part of Oklahoma, if you can believe that. They have some green areas, I think. And it was with somewhat of a girlfriend at the time that I was staying with during that period in Dallas, Texas. And we drove up, and I had some marijuana with me, and I was so upset that it seemed that for some reason, we weren't really gone very long from the time that we hit the cabin to the time that we maybe went for a walk, and I'm like looking for it, and I can't find it. And I may have lost it, but I was so paranoid that there was some sort of weird Indian energy, and that just nature itself just decided to take it. It's like, well, if you're not going to just give it to me in terms of, one of those giving to nature type of ritualistic things, I'm just going to take it from you. So that was and I could just imagine the fun this pharmacist is having with all the energies, people coming in and going, and this is not something we had 100 years ago or 100 years ago. Okay, so let's go over to the blog, theshadowlands.net. Ghost weather station. This probably doesn't fit on the screen here entirely, but I will go ahead and read it. We'll go ahead and move this right here for you. Solar flare activity and geomagnetic field activity seem to affect the amount of ghost activity. Research has shown us that during periods of heightened solar activity and geomagnetic activity in space, the amount of spirit activity increases. M-class and X-class flares are good sources of energy for the spirits to use to manifest. Spirits often tap into normal electrical sources such as electrical appliances and batteries to get this energy, but on days when the air is full of excess energy during solar storm. Folks, this is not my website. I did not write this. I did not read this. Read my lips. Read my lips. The American people, people of the world, Scouts honor, Girl Scouts honor, all the Scouts honor. I have not read this blog before today, yet you've heard me speculate about my intuitive thoughts about the electromagnetic field and that there's a natural and an unnatural. And there's something about these unnatural fields in some of these urban environments that I suspect could be a conduit for some of these spirits, but also something else that could be trying to come through. Maybe there's another reason why they want to add that 5G. Again, hold this concept that I already brought to your attention about the conduit theory and the grid. And I also talked about Portland being at a certain spot for some reason where there may be certain currents to where they're able to come through in that grid a little bit more. Maybe there's something even deeper to the whole national power grid thing. Maybe this is something to be like Ghostbusters, where if the grid went down, or if the grid wasn't held up, we can look at it from a number of different ways. But I like things that get me to think. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if you enjoy thinking outside the box, seeing how things connect, but I certainly do. And things like this kind of help add the additional puzzle pieces that I feel that we need. Going back, spirits often tap into normal electrical sources, as we said, such as electrical appliances and batteries to get this energy. But on days where the air is full of excess energy due to a solar storm or a solar flare, they have a surplus of energy to tap into. This information is also important because it may adversely affect you more sensitive EMF meters, giving you false positive readings. Okay, so, and there's another post here. And this is from Kick Axe. Bring this down here a little bit. Earth's magnetic field and weather can affect paranormal investigations. There is a consensus among ghost hunters that under some weather conditions and I'm going to bring this up for myself, that seem to help these paranormal events are ones that influence the Earth's magnetic field, including solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and full moons. It is believed that ghosts use electrical energy in some way. During paranormal investigations, equipment and batteries are sometimes drained of energy, and ghosts are thought to be the reason for that. During the conditions that charge up the Earth's electromagnetic field, is thought that the ghosts could tap into extra energy, and that's why there are more paranormal events at those times. Ghost hunters use paranormal investigations equipment as their computer devices and the calendar to check conditions. And as I've stated to you, spaceweather.com. I have described drive-by shootings and my awareness of both that in the news and massive protests where it's very reactive to a police shooting, where the masses were not so reactive before. Like very angry, like there's a period where just a bunch of youth were running throughout Portland by thousands. You know, talking about like just like war with the police for like no reason. Like, you know, they just woke up and they're going to get upset because someone was shot by the police that day more than any other day, more than anyone that's basically being killed by the drones overseas. Yeah, we're going to go there. Yeah, so people will actually use things to get angry and without even realizing it. And so there can literally be a mob hive mind that can manifest like a thought form as this energy is erupting. So as energy is erupting, people are more active, but there's also more cops and robber activity. Something happens, there's already tension with the economy. Boom, people are responding to a police-involved shooting, and there's full-on like riot-like protests for days within Portland as the sun is spitting out. And I'll be sitting there like feeling like I'm the only one noticing that. But yes, let's keep this focused. To me, that wild, aggressive, psychotic, that might as well be paranormal. These events that we're seeing, these violent actions. We have another story here. I was not planning to cover it within this one. We might as well go there. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? A mother decided to drown her infant son in a bathtub so she wouldn't hear him cry. Oh, I got an idea. I got an idea. Not to make light of this. Let's just call this mental illness. That way we can avoid paranormal. That way we can avoid looking at the evil nature of humanity today. When the mother kills her own, it's a sign of the end times. Yes, it's a sign of the end times. So why won't you figure it out? Again, don't invite me to your karaoke kid's birthday. When a mother kills her child, it's a sign of the end times. Just like don't run from this. This is it. There's no escaping this news. This is it. She drowned her baby. This is it. This is how the world ends. So let's, and I'm not saying that the world is ending. I'm saying that this is bad news. And I would say that, when you hear me talking about the archonic invasion of human consciousness and dark feminine rising, and we see a buildup of this type of content from yours truly, and we're talking about things of this nature and goodness being punished and evil rising and the different ways it's manifesting. People laugh at it. People laugh at people like me. We live outside of mainstream society because we see more people like the Jenna Falwells of our world, and we get concerned. We don't literally see the blood. We feel the energy. We feel the callousness. We see the silence. When people are silent about millions being removed from the planet, who else will they be silent about? Who else will they be silent about? And so they'll also be silent about things like this. People will tell you about this group invading your country. People will tell you about this group bringing down Western society. And then you actually take the microscope and you look at real world crime that's taking place. And we have a lot of dirt in our own backyard. Should I even read this? I think I've just shown you a snapshot from this. We'll scroll down. Very, very alarming. Oh, and there she is. And those are the eyes of someone that looks like they're completely home. Yes. Oh no, don't be mesmerized by the fact that she's not scowling at you at the moment, but just look a little deeper at what's going on. And so yes, we do unfortunately live in a society where some people are just simply mentally ill, and that we shouldn't look in certain directions. It's not a left or right issue. Both the left and the right are dominated with members of society tapped into mass consciousness, where they act like they're thinking with their rational, scientific political mind, where they have edited out the possibility of the paranormal, of realities where we have certain events taking place, celestial and others, where a certain amount of the population will check out if they're already on the dark side and they never work to improve themselves, and they're already drinking and drugging, and they're already addicted to digital TV, and they're already addicted to the internet. Well, the stages then are set. It's almost as if the social engineers are working for others. The others, they're almost as if they're doing the bidding for others to get people into a trance state so they can be taken over. So we kind of went from one level to another, but yes, from the moving of a jar. Oh, that's so cute. Bob moved the jar. But yeah, the realms of the unseen, folks, where the people of 2018 get or not, they're doing a little bit more to us in our world than moving around jars.